On the line with me is Mr. Jim Maryland. He's going to give us his thoughts on the passing of Cortez Kennedy, a young man that he knew quite well. Welcome, Mr. Maryland.
Thank you, Mr. Cheatham, and it's more than a pleasure to be able to participate on your show, and I want to congratulate you on your programs, and also give you a long thanks again for what you did for the Russell Maryland Foundation back in Chicago when we would invite guys like Cortez and guys all over the NFL to come into the Russell Maryland Foundation annual football clinic. Cortez Kennedy, a young man from Wilson, Arkansas, 48 years old, passed away this morning, and it was sad. My son Russell called me early to let me know because he and Cortez were great friends. I mean, just great friends, dating back to the University of Miami. Cortez once told me, he said, Mr. Maryland, I give, first of all, praises to your son Russell for helping me get to where I am now. He said, I never would have made the first team at the University of Miami had it not been for Russell encouraging me and really literally making me get up with him and go out and work out and get in condition. And Cortez was a great friend of our family. Matter of fact, Russell's oldest daughter, Kyra, recently graduated from high school and, was getting ready to go to the University of Miami, which she's there now. Cortez came to her graduation and sat with me during the whole time of her festivities, my granddaughter, Kyra. And we had long conversations. We laughed. We had a good time. We always do that. I've attended his football clinic up in Wilson, Arkansas. Also, just close to his family. And Cortez was a young man and raised up in a small southern town, but boy, who had some values, and he really enjoyed himself for what he did on the football field and off the field, helping youth. Cortez was a good kid. I really enjoyed his friendship over the years. And I give my condolences to his family, his mother, who also was a friend of ours. And it's not anything negative that I can say about Cortez. It's just a fun-loving big teddy bear.
Yeah, it seems like you and he had a great time together. I remember seeing you guys at the camp of Russell's football camps, excuse me, over the years. And I know you two guys lock arm in arm. Y'all both about the same size, but he was a little taller than you. He was a little taller than you.
Well, that is right, though, Mr. Cheatham. We were. And matter of fact, I had gone to my doctor get me a physical a couple of weeks ago. And the nurse told me, she said, Mr. Maryland, you hadn't been to us since 2006. This was a specialist and said, you've lost over 100 pounds since then. And said, I'm proud of you. And I'm proud of myself. The only thing is that I had to get me a new wardrobe, which was quite expensive.
Was Cortez ever married, Mr. Maryland?
Cortez was divorced. Cortez had been married to a young lady that hailed from Shreveport, Louisiana some years ago. And out of that marriage, there was one daughter, biological daughter, and one stepdaughter that he had. And his biological daughter was living with him down in Orlando, Florida. However, she's going to school at this time, I believe, somewhere in Arkansas, up near Cortez, where Cortez's mother lives. So, yes, Cortez had one child. And he had been married, but divorced.
Yeah. When the last time did you or Russell have a chance to speak with Cortez, Mr. Maryland?
Well, Russell and Cortez talked, I would say that maybe once or twice every 2 weeks. Cortez was a great friend of Russell, and Russell was a great friend of his, and they stay in contact with one another. But I understand that Cortez had recent illness that he didn't let Russell know about. He had been in the hospital for about 5 days, I understand, prior to his, death. And I think he may have had some kind of condition that nobody knew about except for he, his doctors, and his mother. He's real close to his mother. And he even didn't never tell Russell about it because he was the kind of guy he wouldn't want his friends to worry about his condition. However, I detected something at my granddaughter's festivities when she graduated from high school, when Cortez and I sat together. I detected there was something wrong because he had lost a tremendous amount of weight. He stated that he was a diabetic.
Okay.
And I said, great, man, you're doing well as far as your weight is concerned. Stay with that diet and you'll be okay. But I didn't know if he had other complications. Mm-hmm. But I knew his body had changed a lot, and I could detect something wrong. What it was medically, I don't know.
Was he involved in sports in any way after his professional career?
Well, I'm sure Cortez, he was the kind that he made friends all over the NFL. Mm-hmm. And he would oftentimes go down to New Orleans and be with the Saints doing their pre-training and doing the the football year sometime. He would go down and work with them and I'm sure Cortez was doing some work with youth there in Orlando, Florida, where he lived. That's the kind of person he is, or was.
I want to thank you, Mr. Maryland, for your comments on Cortez. I knew the kind of relationship that you had with him as a young man when he would come to Russell's camp. Thank you.
You were one of the first people that came across my mind, because I knew the relationship that you had with him as a young man when he was still playing.
Well, I just want to congratulate you and your daughter, Tanita, for what you did to expose these guys in a positive way. As far as community service, you did a wonderful job. You and Tanita, you would interview these guys, find out where they were, and encourage them. And I want to thank you also for what you did for my son and Cortez and a group of other guys, Emmett Smith, and I could just go on and name them, the guys that looked up to you and Tanita for what you did for us. And I want to thank you for that. Thank you so much, Mr. Cheatham. Thank you for your call.
And you enjoy the rain down there in Louisiana.
Okay.
All right. You take care, Mr. Maryland.
And thank you again for being with us here on our program. Here we are.
This is great. Russell Maryland invited me to come to his camp to work with the kids, and I think it's great that we can work with the kids and have a great time and tell them to stay away from drugs, stay in school, obey their teachers and their mothers. The kids, it's about the same. We can get the kids as a young age and teach them to stay away from drugs. Like I said earlier, we can reach to them. As long as we can get them younger, we can reach to them and tell them to stay away from drugs and stay in school. So this is basically what we're here today, to show the kids that we're not just NFL players. We also work hard, and everybody is getting their education and staying away from drugs. These kids want to know everything, and we tell them. We don't lie to them. We tell them everything that we want them to know, and good for them. When you see kids out here working out, Russell got 400 kids out here now, working and asking questions and just doing everything possible to get better and to succeed in life. And that's great for Russell Maryland football camp, and it's also great for the kids that is there. It's a lot to do with mentally, because you got your coaches telling you something, you got people outside of football telling you something, but if you believe in yourself and believe in God, you can go a long way.